Am I the butthole for taking my older brother to a restaurant instead of taking him to the wedding? I, male 21, have an older brother, Adam 27, and he's a wheelchair-bound due to a motorcycle accident that caused him SCI. He was living with his ex-fiancée, but my parents took him after she said she couldn't do it anymore. I come to take care of him every day. Started learning to be Adam's career since mom and dad were becoming overwhelmed. I still go out/study/ while being there for Adam. It's been almost 3 years. Last week my parents got a wedding invitation from Adam's ex-fiancée's parents. Her family and my family are close. Known them for 15 years, my parents told Adam they wanted him to come with them to celebrate/support the family. No matter what happens, the two families will be close. Adam said no. Dad lashed out, saying he needed to stop being selfish and potentially ruining a 15-year friendship between two families by being bitter. I got involved after Dad said Adam had no choice but to go. I asked him to respect Adam's opinion, but Dad called me an enabler and that they get to veto his opinion since they do so much for him. I left and stayed gone for 2 days. Adam said they were pressuring him and he couldn't take it anymore. The day at the wedding, I went to my parents' house. Told them I wanted to go with Adam to the wedding and drive him there myself. They said okay. Told me to follow them and rushed out. Instead of following them, I drove Adam to a restaurant out of town. 2 hours away. We had a great time there. His frown turned into a joyful smile. Seeing him like this made me feel relieved. Once I turned my phone on. My dad specifically was livid. Calling me a manipulative liar. Asking why I didn't follow them with Adam to the wedding. Talked about how embarrassed he was, repeatedly telling people my sons are going to be here soon. He yelled that I just damaged a 15 years of friendship with the ex's family. I argued with him about how he ignored Adam's wishes and that being disabled doesn't mean he has no independence and opinions anymore. He told me to STFU with this bullcrap and be grateful he didn't call the police for what I did, and demanded I bring Adam home. I dropped Adam off and left. Other family members berated me, saying I'm not a kid and should be held responsible for my recklessness and ruining the relationship between the two families. To clarify, Adam's ex claimed they couldn't stay together not because of him being in a wheelchair but something else. Adam said she was treating him poorly. My parents' relationship with Adam's ex is mainly based on doing each other favors and act as if they respect each other. But I know that they're just looking for benefits and what they can get from each other. Note I'm currently renting an apartment with a number of roommates. I can barely afford rent, and that's why I can't take Adam to live with me, but I will be doing my best to get my own place and take him in with me. Unfortunately, it's not possible right now. Not the butthole. Why on earth would your parents want Adam to watch the women he was going to marry someone else? That's just cruel. Screw the 15-year friendship. My son and his mental well-being would be way more important to me. Your parents are definitely the buttholes here, and I am so sorry Adam has to live with them and put up with their BS. Ooh, I know this one. Because he's not a real person anymore, he's a prop. They just needed him to let them wheel him around so they could get their props for doing so much for him and let everyone coo over how sad it is that he'll never find anyone to love him, but he still got to see the bride in her pretty dress and dream, if only for a day. They do so much. Meanwhile, their other child is coming over every day to care for him. Op and his brother should get their own place together. They are the only ones in this family who truly love and care for each other. Those parents are ridiculous. This, and set up some in-home care for the older brother so he can at least feel some kind of adult independence. He's being infantilized when he's still mentally competent, and that's effing sad. The infantilizing part seemed most obvious when they said they'd call the police. For what? He's not a child. It's not kidnapping, nor is he property that can be stolen. He can't use his body, but he can damn sure tell someone when he doesn't effing want to be somewhere. Yeah, this part to me is bizarre. He's a physically disabled but mentally capable adult. The cops in my town would laugh at you at best and tell you not to call with frivolous complaints at worst. That's the thing, their disabled son isn't a person to them anymore. He's a prop to be used and shown off. I would not be surprised if their parents are actually kind of getting fed up with their sympathy prop making so much noise and demands for silly things like happiness and freedom. So their other son taking the prop on the very day they absolutely needed it to lord over their friends. Why, that's just plain old stealing to them. Also, I'm enraged at this whole story. I wish the dad did call the cops. I'm sure they would have had a great laugh over the call. I'm laughing now just thinking about if they did lol. Our two sons went out to lunch together. What do you mean you're not sending an officer? I managed to miss that part, but holy crap, that's disgusting. They clearly either see him as a child or object. If they saw him as a capable adult, they'd never say dumb crap like that. On the other hand, you sound like an awesome brother. What a sweet idea to take him to a nice lunch instead, and it's a shame you two can't live together. Hopefully you can make it happen eventually. Their friendships are their problems. Not Adam's. Adam is his own person and it's disgusting how the parents treat him. They do not get to veto him. They do not get a say in the matter. And they do not get to disregard Adam's feelings. It was his ex. Nobody would want to be in that situation. Those parents need to F off. I asked him to respect Adam's opinion, but Dad called me an enabler and that they get to veto his opinion since they do so much for him. This broke my heart. Mine, too. His parents are horrible people. I agree with you, but want to add that people with intellectual disabilities are also victims of this kind of treatment, so the fact that he's mentally competent isn't even relevant. If he were mentally disabled and didn't want to go to a wedding, he shouldn't have to go either. I more so meant people that are unable to speak for themselves in any capacity. I agree that people with intellectual disabilities, if able to communicate that they don't want something, should have their wishes respected. From what original poster said, he can't even afford to take in his brother at all right now. He's living with a bunch of roommates, so he certainly can't afford in-home care. I dare say an awful lot of people wouldn't be able to afford it. There are services that you can get through the government. My sister has had in-home nursing her whole life due to cerebral palsy, and my mother hasn't had to pay a dime for it. There's also the option, assuming he's in the US, of getting paid to be his brother's caretaker. Obviously all of this hinges on him moving his brother out with him eventually. I came here to comment about it too. I am also wondering if the parents do receive money for him. They seem like the people who would keep him, just for the money. The parents truly suck. They have no regard for their son whatsoever. My heart breaks for Adam. I'm grateful he has an amazing brother in his corner. I guess he probably at least gets disability, which can vary. My father with schizoaffective gets $1,700 a month and my sister with cerebral palsy gets like $800. In my state that can take years to qualify for, then years on a waiting list to receive. We should crowdfund this. I would donate. I think the original poster is trying to save up to do that. Hijacking this comment that points out how effed up all of this was to say I am disabled and OP, this is some crap for adult protective services, especially if you still have the texts. I know it may seem petty, but organizations that help people with disabilities don't usually like it when we're treated like props, so you should really find him some effing help. I'm genuinely afraid that he could be punished or abused in some way, like not getting the help/care he needs for not being a good prop for his parents. I really hope original poster sees this. Adult protection services or something similar should definitely be called. They may even be able to point original poster to resources that could help them move in together and get the brother out of that house. This isn't about how the parents look to the other family, it's about the welfare of their adult children. If those parents can't see that, they shouldn't be in the picture at all. Also, in the US at least, if your brother needs a career, the government does offer stipends for it. I'm not sure of all the details, but as his career, you can be allotted a certain amount of money each month, which may make it easier to move with him to a more accessible place. I thought about this too. It seems like a lot is wrong beyond this one incident. Brother is a 27-year-old with, it sounds like, an intact mind. Even if he can't be fully independent, he should be able to make decisions for himself to the extent that it's possible. That should include choices about attending school or working if possible, his living situation, how he spends his time, and more. If the parents are trying to force a 27-year-old adult to attend a wedding that's painful for him, I wonder what other choices they're depriving him of. He needs an advocate. This shouldn't all be put on by the way. Original poster has a right to build his adult life without being a primary caregiver for his brother. Original poster is so young. Is my hero for the wedding escape stunt. Sure, it was manipulative, But that seems the lesser evil in this situation. His brother must have been so relieved. Original poster is definitely not the butthole, and he seems to be the only person treating his brother as an adult human being. Thank you. I was thinking this as well. This is extremely concerning to me. I hope they can get the help that is needed and Adam can get the protection he needs. Which is also why he threatened to call the police, of course. You can't call the police on another adult deciding they don't want to visit a wedding. But you can call the police when somebody steals something from you. And that's what they believe. Original poster stole Adam from them. That's what I was laughing at. What are they going to tell the police original poster did? My adult son took my other adult son somewhere other than where we wanted him to take him. Was the 27-year-old taken against his will? That's not important. He was taken against our will. Right? If anything, original poster should have been the one calling the cops if Adam had gone with their parents since it was against his will. My thoughts exactly. Like WTF, were they going to tell the cops? Adam might be physically disabled, but there's no way to spin this like they somehow get a say in where he goes / what he does. He's a grown man and not mentally impaired in any way. I bet the cops would have been hella pissed if the parents brought this to them. Ugh. This. Look at the stoic X, rolling eyes face, rolling eyes face. That was the impression I got as well. How sad for Adam. Exactly this, as well as use him to gain more favors from the ex's family. So. He wrote that they received an invitation from ex's family. He did not write that X was getting married. Maybe it was a brother or sister of hers. Either way, Adam should get to decide if he goes or not. This story legitimately horrified me. Original poster is being a great sibling, and I'm aghast at a 27-year-old adult's parents trying to force him to do anything, let alone go to the wedding of his ex-fiancée, who abandoned him. They've prioritized their relationship with these people over that with their own son, and I am so sorry that Adam has to live there. It's bad enough they went to the wedding themselves, let alone try to force Adam to go. Original poster, you are not the butthole and you and Adam are lucky to have each other. Thank you for this small but mighty kindness, and shame on your parents, and I truly hope that Adam can become independent from them. Yeah, the parents sound horrible. Not to mention, who goes to an ex's wedding, not to mention an ex's family's wedding? While I'm normally all for being civil and possibly friendly with your ex, that's way beyond. I concur the not the butthole, and you should maybe look into options for your brother to come live with you. There are in-home nursing options for help with his daily care, and you guys can find a good apartment or house for both of you. If your parents fight it, and you're in the US, you can get social services involved. They'll take your brother's preferences into account, and the local Aging and Disability Resource Center can help you find programs to provide all the extra support your brother needs. They can also help with loaning out some medical equipment, like if you temporarily need a wheelchair while waiting for his replacement to come in or something like that. You've been putting your brother first, which your parents refuse to do. You honestly hands down are being the best sibling you can be already. Your parents lost the ability to call themselves good parents when they infantilize him by using him as a pawn in their games to get stuff out of people. Just want to also put out there, this will make your parents look bad if any social workers get involved. If they blew up like this over their nonsense, then a social worker getting involved will absolutely burn any bridges if / when they find out it was you. Beware the flying monkeys, aka relatives that have been fed only enough info spun in a way to weaponize them against you. Any relatives that put you on blast, tell them you're sick of your parents acting like your brother is property instead of a person and hang up. Then block, and if social services are involved, report every flying monkey. I suspect original poster isn't in the US, but I have some experience with this after my ex got hurt. The hospital and social services jumped right in with rehab, assistance, planning for the future, providing care. This is why I think original poster is outside the US. Depending on the level of injury, Adam may likely be able to live on his own with assistance. He's not a baby, and barring a severe head injury, he should be fine. He would probably want to be more independent anyway. And especially with how his parents are treating him. As an Asian, I can tell you in many communities this kind of crap is common. Obviously not in all, but in many of them this is actually the kind of crap that goes down. I wouldn't be surprised if me and original poster were from the same country, to be honest. I agree. I would have loved for their dad to have called the police. They would have told him he's an adult and can do whatever he wants. Oh, I realize what was going on. Original poster is not the butthole obviously, but I do feel bad for Adam. If some didn't figure it out, his ex was cheating. Not the butthole. Also, veto his opinion? That's just wrong on so many levels. Yeah. It's like they're treating Adam as if he owes them or something. That's not how parents should be treating their children, especially those who are struggling with an illness/disability. Unfortunately, it's very common for some parents to maintain a good image at the expense of their children's well-being. They are treating Adam as if they own him. I would laugh my butt off if Daddy Dearest actually followed through on his vile threat to call the police. He is 27. Just because someone's in a wheelchair does not mean they are suddenly a minor or lacking legal volition. Hopefully the cops would arrest him for filing a false report. Lol, yes, I laughed when I got to that part. Hello? Police? My adult son has been kidnapped by my other adult son. They went to a restaurant instead of going to a wedding they didn't want to attend. Hello? Police? My adult son property has been kidnapped, stolen by my other adult son. They went to a restaurant instead of going to a wedding they didn't want to attend. This is definitely more accurate based on how he talks to and about his kids. I would actually be willing to bet money that there is some financial abuse going on here too. Now I don't know the country they are in, but many countries absolutely have a form of disability for people like his brother. If so, are the parents just keeping it? This is such a good point. Their poor son isn't a son anymore, he's a government paycheck. No wonder they needed him home ASAP, he's a rolling moneymaker. I would pay actual money to see that on TV. True. What a toxic family. I'm just glad Adam has his brother to support him during this incredibly difficult phase. Thank you. They get to veto his opinion because they apparently did so much for him. Parents' love and care isn't supposed to be conditional. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.